So I am going to do more of us talking than slides. So I only have 7 slides. And what I want to do from this is much more about, and I can send out the slides, so don't worry about it. I will send them out to Andrew. You guys can have them. There's nothing special about them. Other, I guess, than the links. But what we want to talk about is welcome to the Microsoft Gaming Platform, what is available to you guys out there. The only slide I don't have out here is technologies. We're going to just rattle through them and talk about it. Because I really actually want to, I got my pad here and a pen. I want to get feedback from you guys on what you develop on, what your needs are, and so we can talk about that, okay? And I'm sorry I sound like a squeaky mouse. I have a cold, so I'm so sorry. All right, so the first things first, let's talk about some free software. I'm sure you guys want to know about that.
Yes.
This is all our info, but I'll pass by that. So, are you guys familiar with BizSpark?
Yes.
All right.
No.
No.
Well, that's even better because I get to talk about it. All right, so the first thing you guys need to know, I want you to look at that box at the bottom. Is your startup, and it has these notes down there. How many of you guys build games? Just raise your hand. How many of you guys publish games? Keep your hands up. You guys are startups, okay? So you need to realize if you are publishing games, whether you are monetizing those for ad revenues and they're free, or whether you're charging for them, that is considered a business, especially in this day and age. You guys really need to know. And so if you guys have those types of situations, we literally have a tool that once you sign up, it's going to come through either Diego or I. And we go like, yep, they develop apps. Yep, they're a business. Yep, they don't make a bunch, they don't have $1 billion in revenue. And you'll get 3 years of free software and Windows credit. And when I say free software, I mean pretty much everything. The latest and greatest Visual Studio, the latest and greatest SQL Server, SharePoint, whatever you can think about that you need as far as either a server or a development tool or name it, even like I said, Azure credits. They give you credits, and those credits are just saying how much per month, as far as if it was you paying versus us paying, you would get. And so the Azure credits, you don't even pay for Azure instances. If you want to have like a leaderboard put up or have social networking, tweet out your game that someone beat you and my top score is higher, which gives attention to your game as well. So just know that, BizSpark is there for you. Now, another thing that's great about BizSpark that most people don't take advantage of, other than the software, is the fact that you get professional technical and product support. So you get us helping you outside of just Diego and I, and hopefully you'll get us to help you too, right? But you get professional help from, various things. Like I am stuck with, I don't know, my MS Build sucks right now and I just need something to happen, whatever. And then you get offers from network partners. Like for instance, one of the offers that you might get, for instance, if you want to ramp up on something to make your game or whatever, you get Pluralsight offerings for that. So you have that free training, and you guys know Pluralsight is a pretty cool thing to have. So there's a bunch of different offers as well and support. The next thing you get is visibility. So if you go out there now, there's literally a YouTube channel for MSDN, for BizTalk and everything else, and we're doing developer stories. So like Scott Hanselman just did one from a startup that came through from the BizTalk, being in BizTalk, where he's highlighting it on their shows. You guys absolutely have the ability to do that. Bring a cool game and we go, hey, this is one we need to get featured. And it's really just that easy. So it's kind of the best of everything, right? You get the software for free, you get the support for free, and you get visibility, which is nothing is better than getting that for your game. So if you guys did not know about BizSpark, that is the introduction to it. The link is really easy. So BizSpark now, click and point your way to getting some free stuff. Okay? Any questions there? So the 4 questions, just one more thing I'll add, that's what the little sign up will ask you. So just check yes and that. And like I said, we get, luckily, and this is something new this year, so take advantage of it. We actually get to see you guys come through and say, oh yeah, and green light you through, which is great, but we didn't have that ability before. Okay. All right, this is something that's local, and I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Be the Greater Southeast Developer of the Week. And that means is we're trying to build visibility to you guys' games, your apps. So get it featured at the Linux store. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Roger Peters, who just did a world word search, Little Books. And so his app is, you go into the Microsoft store. I let the people know, and as they go, it's actually on their devices as featured apps. If you go into the Atrium, Your apps will be one of the ones that actually spins, that says these are key apps to download. When people buy devices, they actually get a sheet of the key games and apps or the download that are key, yours can be on there. This is nothing you have to do but just nominate yourself or have your peers nominate you. It's really just that easy. You get to have, if you would like, a meet and greet where we pay for everything. You get people to come down, you talk about your game, you talk about the great benefits of it. It's kind of a marketing event for you guys without you having to pay for it for your game. So we know that getting games in the hands and downloads and people getting visibility to it is something that we have to work on. So take advantage of the Developer of the Week program. Any questions about it? One other cool thing is you can bribe your people to come that we give away like friends and family discount cards at the store when they come to your meet and greet, so they get a few discount bonus points if they want to buy something from in there to do it. So, and we're going to be doing this all the way up to June 30th, so take advantage of it if you guys didn't know about it. We have a Unity program that is specifically for the Windows Phone and the Windows Store. And there's 2 incentive levels. You get a free dev account, you get a free Windows 8 Pro license, a developer device, and then things of that nature. And again, these are for Unity developers. The next version up, if you will, is you get 1, and that says million impressions ad for ad package. You get, of course, a developer device, phone or tablet. Priority review for store promotion. So that's the key, how do you get featured in the store? I get asked that so many times. This is a way to get featured in the Microsoft Store when it comes up. Your game, your app gets featured. And you see level 2 actually gets you feature placement on the Windows, made with Windows Unity Gallery. So that's also, a key thing. And then obviously access to technical assistance. So if you go to just Unity 3D and you'll see Windows games, click on that and get started. You can apply and submit existing content, or you can apply without published content, and you'll see where there's a project called the App Canvas offer. So any Unity developer, you see, I guess I don't have to read the slide, you guys can see. So this is pretty open, something great to take advantage of if you are someone who really is passionate about Unity. I don't know if you guys are also aware we're having a Best App of the Month contest. Now, never fear if you are not an Atlanta person. We're able to say the Atlanta metro area. We will give a device away a month. It's going to be featured. Just write a game, put it in the store, and we're just going to look at the apps that come from a certain city, get voted on it, and you just get a device. We're going to give away the device every month that comes up. And actually, we're getting more devices, so I'm able to say, okay, well, this is for Atlanta, but I can say, for instance, if the South Carolina area, you're from Augusta, South Carolina, Augusta, want to say, hey, we just want to do one for Augusta, that's coming up in April. I was told I'll get some more devices so I can expand it to different cities. People that are in Alabama, they want to do the best app of the month for Alabama. You absolutely can do that as well. So, take advantage of this. We're going to give a device away a month. Same thing applies as far as if you get this in the store, this is something that's not going to be in the slide. I'll talk about it later. You need to let Diego and I know, because we have some other things we can do that are not formal programs that we want to do to promote your games. Join the GSD Dev community. We want everyone on that list to know about your game coming out. Something that's cool that when I used to cover Florida that I really liked about it is when someone's game or someone's apps comes out, they say, hey, go check it out, tell your friends about it. It's something that's great because it gets people visibility to your game or your app. And as well as people, able to come back to you and ask technical questions, get you featured, and other things of that nature. It's a lot of people that are on that thread that you'll be surprised to help you get visibility and to get your app featured. Like, for instance, tweeting it or tweeting your game out. It's really gotten a lot of traction for people's Florida games to get visibility, get downloading, get ad impressions. A lot of people are getting very nice money from just people going, oh yeah, my friend wrote this game, he posted on the thing. So this also can be used for technical assistant announcements, things of that nature. But get on this, and if you have a cool app or game, make sure we know about it so we can, promote that out as well. And then you can also get immediate feedback. With the game, if anything else when you make it, getting that feedback, and so you can tweak or have different features coming out is something that's great to do as well. Office hours. Or branded studio time. Does anyone know what this is? Andrew is the only one. Yes. Do you know what these are? Okay, so 2 people in the room, this is a very bad sign. So every week, and I do mean every week, for approximately anywhere between 3 to 5 hours, Diego and I block off time in our calendar. And if you go on to this link, we literally have one-on-one slots to go through whatever it is you need to go through. So if it is, I'm stuck with X and I need technical assistance, we go through it. If it's, I need to get started with blah, we go through it. If it's, I need X resources, I don't know where to get it, we go through it. This is one-on-one time we have every week that you guys can take advantage of, and you just need to sign up at these 2 links. So we are, investing in our time in having these studio hours for you guys to get direct access to us. And that's something very new for Microsoft, to get this one-on-one time. This is just not a PFE, there's nothing paid about it. Literally, if we're on office hours, you have something, because Diego and I have great relationships in Microsoft. If you need something, I can go, hold on, I'm going to IM X, Y person. I'll pick on Scott because he lets me do it. I'm gonna, ping Hanselman and say, why does Andrew do X, Y, and Z? Because he allows me to pick on him, so I can do that. Or things of that nature, or whatever it is. So you want to take advantage of that. Or I'm a part of the Windows 8 Windows Dev Champs. Diego's also part of the Gate Champs. So we actually get to talk to the product groups every week to every other week about, we need X. Someone needs X, or can we build X for them? Those kind of things. So these office hours are really the ability for you guys to take advantage of our one-on-one time.
Until you get really sick of it.
Until we get really sick of it. My last slide isn't showing. So the last slide is just questions. And before I give you questions, or why it's not showing, I'll read through it again. I wanted just to kind of start a dialogue with you. I'm going to, talk about in all of the technologies that we have available to you. Oh, why that last slide is not showing? I'll try it again. Yeah, anyway. But while I talk, here's time for just you guys to bombard. I literally bought a pad to write down anything and everything that you guys are saying. Let me just tell this one more thing. So the technologies that we have available to you to write, obviously we have Unity. There's also Construct 2, there's Game Maker, there's the Unreal Engine, there's Monogame, there is DirectX. So if you are a C++ DirectX head, we cover all of those. Pretty much almost any way you want to get your game developed, other than obviously the Objective-C route. But again, Monogame does that if you want to publish on multiple platforms. And also Coco 2D XNA port is also a cross-platform port if you're really a Coco's head. So we have all of these technologies that run on our platforms, whether you want to do cross-platform development or whether you want to focus on one type of game that we can also help you with. So with that, I'll be quiet. Questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to know, I have 3 games that actually run on Windows 8, but they don't run as apps. And I want to know, that they're all done with Visual C 2005, sitting on top of SDL, which uses DirectX or whatever else it needs. I want to know how difficult that is for me to port to run as a full Windows app, and what are the requirements for that?
Great question. So, first of all, for a Windows app, you need to at least be DirectX 11 or greater. So that's going to be the first kind of requirement you need to make sure you cover. The second thing that usually is a challenge for people that are porting their apps that that existed before was the new asynchronous model in Windows 8. So it is async first. Mind you, in the plumbing of the new, if you start a new DirectX project here now, it'll come out is in the plumbing. You'll see that there are certain async calls that actually get made, even from the C++ side. So that's usually the other set, kind of transition point that people go, wait a minute, I need to think about this from an async perspective. Now, the good thing about it is we do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. I mean, a lot of the heavy lifting. It's not the synchronous programming of old. Literally, we give you some keywords and kind of show you how to, make sure you formulate that with the right callbacks, and you're fine. And you don't even create the callbacks, we do. So if the code you've written can be easily ported using, I don't know which one are you, DirectX version, you said 2000?
Again, I said SDL, it sits on and uses whatever DirectX version it needs. And I think it uses, it probably anything 7 or above.
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one that uses. So if it runs on 11, I would just do a test. Literally open up a DirectX project and import your files in. The only thing you're going to have then is syncing away things, and you're going to have to change that.
Again, it's so far removed from me. The SDL layer is a layer that sits on. I don't call DirectX myself. SDL is a layer that decides between OpenGL and DirectX, and it just sort of magically works from my viewpoint.
Right, and I understand that, but what I'm saying is because we've changed the underlying asynchronous calls, that SDL has to make those calls to DirectX, and some of those would have changed. And so that's what we need to have to kind of look at. What are those that have changed that maybe may cause or may not cause some issues? So a lot of the heavy lifting we do for you, but depending on the call, there might be a call that's no longer there.
Right, but for instance, so that's SDL, it stands for Simple Direct Layer.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you guys should provide a ported version of that just works, because that's the layer that matters, that would remove anybody, not even me, who's already written an application that uses SDL to have it magically work under as a Windows 8 app.
So that decision is a little bit above my pay grade. We do not provide it. I mean,
But can you provide access so I can get that question answered?
I can absolutely, I can send that question right now. I mean, to the Xbox team, I have no problem. I mean, I'm just telling you that I can just repeat to you what they're telling us. The reason why they redid DirectX and provide, some of these asynchronous things is so there does not have to be a layer for efficiencies, for performance. So that was kind of one of the parts of the design plan. I can absolutely, here's the thing, no question is off limits. I can absolutely email that question. They can just give me an answer.
I guess I'm missing one thing, and then I'll shut up and let it.
Sure, no, ask away. This is great.
So, on my current system right now, I run, again, Windows 8 desktop, and that's where my game runs.
Right.
Are you saying that under the covers doesn't use DirectX 11? It actually goes to DirectX 7 or whatever it is? That 11 isn't backwardly compatible?
So no, I'm saying that when you run in Windows 8 non-desktop, it's running in a specific sandbox that has a specific set of rules, and the games have to adhere to that. And so the DirectX 11 version, when you say that you're targeting DirectX for the Windows Store platform, it has to adhere to those new rules. The Windows Desktop does not. The Windows Desktop, you can write everything as if you wrote it before. The Windows 8, because we changed the underlying plumbing, does not. So that's two different things I think a lot of people are not aware of with Windows 8. There is the desktop, which still is running Win32 APIs and everything else like you always did. And then there is the Win Store, which is not running the Win32 APIs at all. It's running WinRT, which is sandbox, which is a sync first, which is the issue I'm saying you may have. Okay. Does that make more sense?
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
It looks like there's an effort to port it as of a year ago, so I suspect it's been ported by now.
The SDL?
The SDL. Well, here's the thing where I said I want to ask about it, because now that Xbox One has come out, a lot of rules have changed and a lot of things have changed. So I want to ask and see, is that project been tabled? Is the TED team going to handle it? You can just bring the piece up and sign it. Is the TED team going to actually port it, or is it something we're going to do, or we're letting our partners do it? So a lot of ports that happen, for instance, on Codeplex and other things, we may not do it ourselves. Our partner may do it, and we may support it. So I think what you're asking is Microsoft going to port that? That's what I don't know, just simply because right now the Windows Store and Xbox teams are swamped. The gaming thing is swamped. That's what I don't know. But I can ask.
The final tie into all this is, if it's easy for me, I will do this. But if it actually costs me work, I won't be able to do this. And this whole meeting is about how Microsoft's supposed to help me. So I'm trying to find out, is that really going to happen? That's the only thing I care about.
So I can answer that two different ways, right? You're asking me if Microsoft's going to help you. That's the same question probably 95,000 trillion people ask. Can I get Microsoft to turn because one person said, no, I can't? Can I say, hey, is there a project going on where I can help him? Is a TED team building a plumbing? Is a partner building a plumbing to help him? Absolutely, I can go and fight that battle all day. Will I get them to change a framework for you? I know this may sound mean, but no.
No, of course not, but if Kenneth says is right, that the SDL is actually ported,
Yeah, and that's what I don't know. And let me just put this caveat there. Sometimes ports will happen, but they might not be our ports. Does that make sense? So we'll find out that a partner has ported something for us or ported something because they needed use, and absolutely I can promote that to you. I can't give you support from it because it's not going to come from Microsoft, but I can promote it to you as long as I know what it is and it's out there. So I do know they were thinking about some things like that, but I do know that has been tabled. I've seen the kind of from our Windows 8 call we had the other day. That wasn't on the list, so I'd rather ask and not guess. Yes, sir. Wait, sorry. So did I answer your question? One?
Yeah, we're all set for now.
Okay, yeah. One, I will ask. If they can say yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
2, if a partner has ported it, I'll make sure you get that information so you can use it. 3, I understand if it's hard for you, you won't do it, but I can only do what I want to do, and I can help you do whatever I
It's actually not
do.
the hardness, it's time constraint.
Time constraint, yeah, and I understand, and like I said, I will make sure that if there is a port, you got it. If there is a solution that a partner's in, you got it. If they just tell me, we don't know, I'll be honest with you, and I'm honest to a fault, I'll tell you, well, can't help you, because I can't lie, so I'm not good at that, so I don't try. So either way, I'll get an answer. Okay, sir.
How simple is like porting, like especially like through Unity, between Windows 8 and Xbox?
Okay, Xbox 360 or Xbox One?
Xbox.
Okay, so for Unity, you're kind of safe as long as you publish in the standard way that you're writing a Unity game. When you get to the end, just you're going to publish for that platform. We have that covered. If you're writing something specific that's outside of the realm of that, I would have to see what you're doing. We've had some people that are doing some things specific that we had to make a little bit of a bridge for Xbox One, but there have been bridges that are made. So if you just write a basic Unity game to get on Xbox One, you're green lighted, you're good. Or Windows 8, or Windows Phone, or even the other platforms that your main name is right now. So yeah.
I'm aware that there's like an ongoing program to like, I think it's called Xbox One at Unity or something like that, where like they have this where they provide a system in the sense that they give like all the specs and like answers to like how everything works on the one and make that available to developers. Like how does one apply for that?
That's a great question. Okay, I hate to give you this answer, but I was told that they are backlogged with getting out the little kits on it. So it's a waiting game. Everyone who has it now has it, and they literally have a backlog of 1 trillion million people that are asking for the kits, because you have to actually get a specific type of hardware they're going to send you out. There's a kit that comes out. So right now, the message that we got, because we just kind of bombarded the product group literally 2 days ago about this exact thing, was if Devs publish for Unity or write the games for Unity, it will be supported on Xbox One. They just got to catch up with figuring out how they're going to publish that from an indie perspective, and they're just swamped. That wasn't the answer we wanted to hear either, but that's what we got. Yes, sir. Somebody else right there? Yep.
I was curious. I know that when, having built servers, I know that when Microsoft decides that it's going to move from like 2008 to 2012, there is only 2012. There is no 2008. You can go to the Tech Edge library to find out if there was one. So my question would be, if you want to develop for either the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One, what is Microsoft's main focus in terms of, I guess, market impetus and support? Is it going to support more development for Xbox One and everything's like, oh, Xbox 360 is good, we'd really like you to develop for Xbox One? That kind of thing, or is it equal still, or?
Right now, because we're behind, it's equal still.
Oh.
Because I mean, we can't like say, hey, we're all Xbox One. We can't even get the kids out the door, right? And this was one of the things we were actually talking about on our product was called this Tuesday. This Monday. We were just saying, hey, okay, that's great. You're saying Xbox One. You don't even have the kids out. I understand that product was a swamp, but how can we deliver this message that hey, go build for Xbox One when that's not a reality? So right now, no, not one or the other is taking preference. From the product group perspective, it's all about Xbox One because they have to get the kids out the door. They're working on trying to support all the languages. From a indie game developer's perspective, We're not putting more pressure on Xbox One versus 360 because we can't, right? We don't have an indie game story yet till they get these things done.
And what's the, I guess, landscape of like, portability, like, if you develop for the 360, is it fair to say that you can tweak it slightly and move it to Xbox One, or is it a completely different development?
I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second.
I'm sorry, I have to sign the piece of work.
Keeps it more important than anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of the important stuff for you.
Basic human necessity.
I just want to be in the video, that's all.
Well, I guess, I have to nail down what the particulars are of this one.
Yeah.
It's important sometimes, you know, you're getting.
Oh, yeah. I do.
So that's
Just in your head. Stop.
So you'll let us know, right?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah, no problem.
right, Gotta be 60.
So continuing with that thought, if we develop for the Xbox 360,
Right.
what happens if we want that game to go to the Xbox One? Is it completely incompatible, two totally separate universes? As different as Apple's and Microsoft? I mean, what's the deal there? Or is it likely to be two totally different round-up projects?
This is the important question for us, and why we came.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a multi-pronged question.
It's a multiverse?
It is, okay, so let's deal with the bad news first. If you are using XNA to do it, it is not supported. So let's just go and get out of the way. Now,
What about this Unity platform? If we develop on that,
Unity is supported.
is it supported on both?
Yes, it is supported on both. So Unity is the safe ground right now. HTML5 JavaScript is the safe ground right now because that's the product group that finished first. So those are the stories we have. So for instance, XNA, as you know, doesn't run on Windows 8. So the key message we keep getting pounded to tell people, which I'm going to give you the Microsoft speak, and then I'm going to give you what is probably real. Maybe I should because he's recording. What the message we're being told to tell you guys as game developers, as develop for the Windows 8 platform, and you'll be ready for Xbox One.
Okay.
But
There is a caveat to that I'm trying to figure out how to very graciously say. If you develop for Windows 8 and your Unity, yes, that is true. If you develop for Windows 8 and your HTML5 JavaScript, that is true. If you develop for Windows 8 and you're using C#, not right now. If you're developing, that's a good way to put that. If you're developing, it's just a product group we finish first. And if you're developing for XNA, the model game team, obviously those apps run on Windows 8, they run well, they're cross-platform ability, but the model game team's trying to get the SDK from Xbox One to see if you can also use that as well. So if you're an XNA person, right now, writing for Windows 8 means you write model game or Coco's XNA, and you can get on other platforms. Well, right now we're waiting to see how that's going to work with the Xbox One.
It sounds like there are some eggheads in Redmond that aren't getting a bonus check this month.
I don't know about that. They released the Xbox One, so maybe they are. It's just getting the dev platform out to you guys. That's now the next challenge, because it's a revamp of the platform.
Okay, but as long as we develop on Unity,
You're safe,
we're
yeah,
safe for both Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
absolutely.
That's why I just wrote that down, sir.
Yeah, that is the absolute truth. Yeah.
He may have just asked this question, but I couldn't hear him very well. My issue is, can we still develop for the 360 for distribution over the arcade? A lot of other studios are still doing that, but when I contacted Microsoft and signed the NDAs and whatnot, they said that they were not opening new avenues on the 360. Except people
Opening new
already-
avenues or,
They weren't, like, they were saying is that they weren't, like, if I wanted to develop for the 360, then I had to deal with someone who already had a license to do so.
that's actually not the email I got just 2 months ago. They actually was promoting games on the 360 during this interim, and a lot of people just weren't interested in it because they were all focused on the Xbox One. So before this night is over, I'll find the email. So that's actually not, I don't know who told you that, but I have it in writing, and that's not quite true.
We're interested in, like, in doing the 360 and the one, so like, anything that can go like through Unity. So that was just my issue, like, if that was true, or if that was correct, or if I misread the email.
I don't know what they sent you. I literally have something from the product group that doesn't say that. So I don't know I can only go by what the product group sent me. Again, this fiscal year, they actually had a big promotion for 360 and people are doing devs for it. But to answer your real question, yes, if you do Unity, yes, you're covered with all 3 of those because we're set on all 3 of those. Yes, sir. Sorry.
There are a lot of rumors flying around. Will Microsoft be selling Xbox?
That has not come through anything we have. In fact, with everything we have going on for Xbox, that's nothing like that is even being mentioned internally. I know I saw that too. It was from, if you look at the analysts, Microsoft is thinking about selling Xbox and everything else. And let me just quell that. The reason why that rumor came up, that one of the guys who were in contention for CEO, actually, when he was an executive at Microsoft before he left and we absorbed the company, he came back, actually wanted to sell off sell off the Xbox from Microsoft. So when people were speculating if he got to be CEO, would he sell it back off? Well, we don't have to worry about that because that person didn't make CEO, so it's a moot point now. So that's where the rumor mill got started, because when he was at Microsoft as an executive, he was vying for Xbox to be sold off. So rumors, wow, interesting. Okay, more questions?
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I've also read another rumor about Windroid. Any comments about that?
So that's not, well, tell me what you heard and I'll tell you what's not a rumor.
Basically a Windows phone on an Android platform or device, and how would that affect the gaming community?
Okay, so great question. So let me clear this up, because I knew this was coming. You're talking about the Nokia X, right? I was surprised it came so late. Actually, I was like, nice. All right, so as you guys probably know, we bought Nokia. What people probably don't know is there is Google and then there's Android. So Android as a pure platform is actually open source that is funded by Google. Google doesn't own Android. So that's a misnomer that most people don't know. So what happens is when you write for Android, Google has inferred a lot of their service inside of the Android platform. So if you go and write for Android and you tie it into the Google services, that's where it is. Well, the Nokia X has taken that open source project that Nokia was working with them in. It's on a Nokia device. It's using that open source Android platform. It has no Google services to it. It's going to be Microsoft services to it. So it's not like most people are like, wait a minute, you're going for Android. Well, Android is open source anyway, and Nokia was working with them on an open source platform that would leverage other services outside of Google anyway. And that was in the works before we even bought them. And so nothing is going to change with that. It's going forward. So instead of using the robot people, you'll use the Microsoft people. And that's it. As far as writing for it, I actually have been, just kind of let you know, one of the things I do a lot is a lot of cross-platform development. It's one of the passions. So I'm actually using, Xamarin's already come out with a little SDK to kind of test for the Nokia X's, just like writing for, because I write C# across all of them. And so I've already kind of spin up that emulator, see how it works, pretty cool. It works like the rest of my code. So that's the story with that. We're not getting in bed with Google or whatever else. Android is open source. Instead of promoting Google services, they'll be Microsoft services. I'm surprised they came so late. Okay.
All right, so I'll have time one question, then we'll take a break, have food. You'll be available for a couple more questions before we go into the secondary meeting. BizSpark, the licenses you get on the software provided via BizSpark, those are standard licenses, right?
Standard license. In fact, while we're talking, I'm going to go out to the web so you guys can see everything's on there. Yeah. Only thing I didn't mention here, for those of you guys who are students, which I probably should have added a slide with that. I guess I can add one when I send it out. You guys get DreamSpark, just 2 flavors. There's DreamSpark for institutions where you get everything if you're at a school, and then there's DreamSpark just for you as a student. If you're in DreamSpark as a student, you get in the store free, so the whole BizSpark thing is good as well if you want to take advantage of that, but you kind of get all this stuff free anyway.
So is that licensing allow for commercial activities?
The BizSpark, it actually is for commercial activities. It is to jumpstart, launchpad your business on, that's right. Well, see, we're not bad guys here. To launch your business with all this free software. That's the whole point of it, yeah. So that's full production, whatever, make your money, do what you gotta do. That's what it's for, to launch startups, to minimize the overhead costs of getting started.
Oh, cool.
If you came in late, please sign in on this laptop here, otherwise grab pizza, send fire more questions, and we'll be networking and doing more meetings for the next hour.
Thank you.
Yay.